So I'm going to suggest a couple of strategies real quick for you. Strategy number one is develop yourself a top 10 list of people that you know for a fact that if you can make them fall in love with you, that they can make all the difference for you in your career. And there might be people that were your former bosses. There might be people that your former professors, people that you've met along the way, people that you've had work on projects with along the way, people that may not be connected with you in real time today, right now. But these people, if you were to get reconnected with them or reconnect with them in the first time, and you were able to somehow strike a relationship up with them, it can make all the difference in the world for you. Now, we all have people that we've ignored, not paid attention to, not given them the flowers that they deserve in our lives. So develop your top 10 list. And I'm going to challenge each one of you right now to come up with one person, and just, if you've come up, just, you don't have to put the name on this in the chat. I don't want you to put their name up here, right? But if there's one person who you know for a fact can make a large difference in your success, in your life, in your career, or whatever that is, if you were to just win their heart, just type yes. What was that? What was my number sequence again? 1 for no or 2 for yes, right? Yes, 2 for 2 means yes. If you have that person in your mind, put 2 in the chat. That means yes. All right. Some of you are a little slow, but you're getting there. Just think of one person, a person from an industry. If you have any questions, by the way, about how to come up with that person, throw that in the chat. We can deal with that. But super, super important that you have at least some idea of who you might want to invite into your network. We're going to talk about what you're going to do with them later on, but you need to have a top 10 list. I have a rolling top 10 list. And as I meet the people on my top 10 list, I bring another person onto the top 10 list, which keeps me active, which keeps me open, keeps me moving, keeps my network growing, and keeps me in constant forward motion. Super, super important. Now, I also have a strategy that I'm going to engage in when I meet that person. And that person, I'm already going to know a lot about that person before I talk to them, right? I'm already going to know, what industry they belong to. I'm already going to know some of the things that they might be posting on social media, because I'm going to cyber stalk them. I'm going to check them out on Facebook. I'm going to check them out on LinkedIn. If they got a Twitter account, I'm going to see who they follow and what they talk about. I'm going to do everything I can to look at all the information that's publicly, easily accessible about them as I possibly can. Now, because I'm going to do that, because when I engage in conversation with them, I don't want to engage in irrelevant or small talk. I'm not interested. We could all talk about the women's basketball game that happened last night before last, and almost the Final Four and all that, Final Two. We could talk about all the shenanigans that went out and all that kind of stuff. We could talk about that, but if the person's not interested in basketball, we're not talking about anything that's interesting to them. And so I got to find out who they are, what they're already interested in. And before I even engage in conversation, before I even approach them, send them an email or even a text message, I'm going to have to figure out how to engage with them. Now, I'm going to tell you something that's not good enough. And this is something that I see people do all the time, and it's useless. Giving people a thumbs up on a post is a worthless waste of time. If you truly appreciate them, then tell them, I appreciate you, and here's why. Give it some context. I like what you have to share. This means a lot to me. I was wondering, in fact, I'll give you a story. I was recruiting someone to come to be a speaker of an organization that I once belonged to. And this person happened to have written an article. They posted them back when everybody was doing blog articles, right? They were creating content. And I shared with him one of the few comments that was on this article that I could tell he put a lot of time and thought into. And I thought, this was just a well-written article. It's brilliant. I'm so glad you had an opportunity to share it with us. And I put all that in the comment section. It means so much. Would you mind if I share this article with the people that are in my network? Now, of course, he put it out there for public consumption. Of course, he didn't mind. But I asked permission for him to do what I already knew he wanted me to do anyway. He responded, why, yes, of course, I wouldn't mind. And I believe that you're from Northern Virginia, correct? Yes, I was from Northern Virginia. I said, and we started engaging in conversation back and forth. He's like, we should meet for breakfast one day. He asked me. And I thought, okay, well, great. I was going to ask him if we could have 15 minutes to talk on the phone or whatever, but he'd already asked me out to breakfast. In fact, not only did I get him to speak at the organization, I got his endorsement. I got, a lot of energy from him. And today he preceded me as the chairman of the Fairfax County Small Business Commission, a post that I held for over 10 years, and I happily stepped down and let this new person come in and take my place as the chairman of this organization, because I think we needed to pass that baton anyway. And I think it was a great opportunity for me to spread my wings and go out and do some other things, which I've done a lot more things since then. But the important part about that is I built the relationship. And he's asked me to speak at organizations and presentations that he's done, and vice versa. And we are now friends. And it's all because I didn't just say thumbs up on a post that he made. I read the article, that he wrote, right? It was his original content. And I said, thank you so much for sharing this information. This means a lot. And I'm sure it's going to mean a lot to other people out there. And the article happened to be about networking. So I want you to think about, what is it that people are sharing that you already appreciate?